Welcome to Where We Knit. My name is Kristen, and on this channel I talk all things knitting, a little bit of sewing today, my WIPs for an upcoming trip to Copenhagen, and lots of other fun things. At the very end, I talk about my favorite things. I am not affiliated with these favorite things today. They simply are things that I really love that I want to share with you. So it's been a while since I podcasted or I've put a video up, and the reason being is because I tried to do a little bit of a vlog. You'll never see me do, what is it that they do, Vlogmas over Christmas? No, I won't be doing that. I am not good at it. At the beginning of July, tried to tape myself every day, knitting, doing something bright early in the morning, no makeup, watching the sunrise, and I am not good at it. So that went to the trash, and I decided I was just gonna have to wait and do a video a little bit later when I had a little bit more progress on projects, etc. So let's get into it. Speaking of progress and speaking of finished objects, ta-da! Baby's first ruffle. I've never done a ruffle before, and it's so fun. So this is a preview knit. I am not certain that it is out. It is a design by Marie Eve, which sounds a lot better when she says it because she's French. She goes by In Her Skein. This is the Floret top, and I could not love it more. I made it in 1 and about 3/4 skeins, right? For my size of the Floret top in the Camellia Fiber Co. Flax, which has a little bit of silk, a little bit of cotton. The drape on this is lovely. Here's a little video of how I'm wearing it today. I could not love it more. And my goal was to finish it before leaving on this trip to Copenhagen, which, drum roll please, I will be on a plane at 5 o'clock tonight. So we'll see if I can film this video, quickly edit it, get the show notes up, and get it out to you before I leave today. We'll see. So I could not be more pleased with this project. I think I need to block these out a little bit better, but the drape on this, I might also, you can see the length of it here. I think it might be okay. I obviously have more yarn if I wish to knit a little bit longer, and it's just an I-cord edge, so it doesn't really matter. If you hear all these grumblings, I have a Boston Terrier who's like right here, and I'm not really sure what's going on with his throat today, but apologize the background noise. Usually I am filming in my local yarn store, Dandelion Fiber Company, but because I'm short on time today, I'm gonna just film it here in my house, but you will see me back in the store for the next podcast, I hope. So lots of things have been happening in the store as well. I just finished a class. Tiff and Laura are the owners of this Dandelion Fiber Company local yarn store. If you've never been there, you should check it out. But I teach classes there, and one of the classes that I taught was My First Hat, which is a pattern by Laura. And it's using really chunky yarns. So these folks, there were 4 of them. They did such a fabulous job, and now they're on to the races for their next class. I love these beginning knitting classes because it's so fun when people really get it and they get into it, and then they've caught the bug. So they did a hat called the Chunky Boy hat, again, designed by Laura of the shop. And it's a free pattern. She doesn't have it out on Ravelry, but you can certainly find it in the shop if you're local. And I'm gonna pop up a picture of their Chunky Boy hats. They couldn't have been more pleased, and they did a fabulous job. So I've been busy teaching classes. I did another class on increases. a couple Mistake Mondays, and then this is a picture of our most recent paddleboard, which was 2 days ago. We go out on paddleboards on Lake Harriet in the middle of Minneapolis and sit and gab and knit, and it's just such a fabulous time. So for those of you who joined me this past Sunday, thank you. The next one is on August 3rd at Lake Harriet again. So that's what's kind of been happening. So this is a finished object. My next finished object that I wanted to talk about, and I think I've talked about it a couple times on this channel, and that is I finished my Olga jacket, and it has buttons, and I couldn't have been more pleased with these buttons, which are just a compressed cotton. I feel like they really match well. I'm gonna pop a picture of what it looks like on here, but I couldn't be more pleased with this project. I love the fit. I loved the knit. I think when you're doing something that changes colors, I think it's really kind of nice because it sort of keeps it fresh and new, and you know you have only 13 more stripes before you're done with the body. Anyhow, yeah, I couldn't have been more pleased with this. I knit it out of Rowan Moordale, which is a 50 wool, 50 alpaca blend. And I have to say, it could be just because I'm feeling it's really, really warm here today, but when I get warm, I feel the prickliness of alpaca sometimes. So I feel like this one in particular, it feels soft to the touch, but it is a little bit scratchy. So I will have to wear something underneath it until I kind of get used to it. Sometimes I just have to get used to that prickle and then I'm fine. And it's not anything that's up here by my neck. So we'll see what happens. But I do really love the knit, and would I knit it again? Probably. I'd knit it as a gift for sure. My next WIP that I want to talk about is I started this hat. It's called the Moana Hat, and it was kitted up at a Woolen Affair, Woolen Folk, the very first Woolen Folk, which was fantastic. The very first one was fantastic. And there was PortFiber was there, and they had this cashmerino yarn that I love, and I've knit something else in it. And two of my friends that I was with bought these kits, and it was knit with this sport weight cashmerino yarn. Well, my friend Susie hadn't done color work for a hat before, and so she had extra yarn, and I helped her cast it on. And so she has since casting it on. She's already finished hers, of course, but there's a Latvian braid. Let me just show you here. There's a Latvian braid, and the color work is manageable. You don't have to catch your floats. And so as we're going through this, I think this fall, this will be my first a class that I probably will title my first color work hat, or even my first color work. I think it would be a really good project to do if you're just trying out color work for the first time. This is, I want to say it must be Hawaiian, is the designer. Here is her name. I just want to highlight that. I'll put all the details of the pattern where you can get it in Ravelry in the description box of this video. And also I will link this cashmerino yarn that is probably carried by different people, but I want to highlight PortFiber because they were the people that we originally saw the kit and got it. And I think you can still purchase it as a kit from PortFiber in Maine. So that is a WIP that will just probably have to go idle for a little while because I'm working on some other things. The next thing I wanted to talk about is I went to Susie from Fiber MacGyver. She had a Saturday sidewalk sale 2 weeks ago, and I had such a great time. I met a handful of you who watch the podcast, which is always such a beautiful experience to really see the people who are on the other side of this channel and who are watching. I really appreciate you watching and subscribing for those of you who have subscribed, but it's also fun to meet you in person too. So I met a handful of you. That was really fantastic. And I was just there really to help check people out. People scored some serious deals at this sale. And so I was really proud to be there and helping out Susie so she could go and do some yarn tours. Speaking of yarn tours of her studio, I am gonna highlight just a couple pictures as I'm talking about her sidewalk sale of the inside of her studio. When I met Susie, she was dyeing yarn literally out of a very small space in her garage and using her laundry tub as the only sink. Now to go from that to this, she's killing it, and I couldn't be more proud. It's a tough job to dye yarn. So those of you who are out there who are yarn dyers who might be watching this, kudos to you, because it is a physical job, it's a creative job. It's a job that really you have to use lots of parts of your brain as well as the physicality of your bodies. So anyhow, I digress on that, but I was able to get a few things from Susie's sale while I was there quickly before people came at, I think it was 10 o'clock it started. And I have always had my eye on this yarn, okay? Like the sprinkle, it's called Sprinkles. And I guess as I look at the camera, it is capturing some of the color, although it is a lot more vibrant and beautiful in person per usual. But I decided that I needed to, so this is DK weight. I got 4 skeins of DK weight. This is Merino DK. It's superwash merino, 246 yards, 4-ply, in 100 grams. So I also had this for a different project, but I know I can always get more. And this is Susie's Surrey silk. She focuses on Surrey silk because she has an allergy herself to mohair. So this Surrey silk is in the colorway Sage. It is 74% berry baby Surrey alpaca and 26% silk. 328 yards for 50 grams. So I have 2 of these. I can easily get another one. I have 4 of these. And I was gonna make a lento, but I already have 2 lentos. Not that I don't love a good lento sweater. If you know, you know. But I also wanted to check out, I've always kind of had my eye on the Cloud sweater by PetiteKnit. So I checked it out. I texted Susie yesterday. I'm like, you think I want to get gauge on this? What do you think? And she was right. She was like, yeah, I think you can get gauge. So I did a lazy lady swatch. And here is my swatch. If you can see it, I don't know if it's focusing. Let's do this. Yeah. So a little bit of the pop of color is coming through, but the Sage is really kind of toning down some of those really bright, not that I don't want that really bright, but this is going to be a beautiful cloud sweater. So I'm super excited about that. This is a future cast on. I can't say when it will happen because I have way too many irons in the fire. And as much as I'd like to squirrel away and cast this on, because it's on a size, I believe it's a size 6. So 17 stitches on a 6. So I feel like it'll go pretty quick. I can't wait. But again, not happening yet. The other thing I wanted to talk about, I had a class on socks, not a class, a knit along. We had a knit along at the shop on socks, and I was able to, so you know that I've talked a lot about Row 1 yarns. They are gifting me this beautiful, I want to make sure I'm saying it correctly, Carnival of Color Club. Details of this Carnival Color Club and a discount code will be in the description of this podcast today. And once a month, I get this amazing amazing. Like, I'll show you a picture of this month's here, this month for July. You get a cute little stitch marker. It's a little Converse tennis shoe this past time. It's so darling. And a little piece of candy. And then these tiny little minis that look like this. Again, I'm not going to go over all of this, but I want to show you this is what this month's colorway looks like. Coming to you by Leslie Fields of Indigo Guinea fiber. And I got 10 little minis. Now, I started a sock because in this knit along, actually I started 2 socks. And I got 2 of them done. One I just have to do the heel and the toe, but the other ones are done. That one I showed in a different podcast, so I won't go over. But this one is my first fade. Now, do I wish I wouldn't have used super dark up here? Yeah, but I used every single mini in that row 1 Carnival of Color Club. So I think they're great. And my friend Nell was over knitting with me earlier this week. She has a titch bit bigger foot than I do. And she loved these socks. Like, she tried it on. And so, Nell, they're for you. So Nell's gonna get this other sock as soon as I finish it. But it was a delight. I used Summer Lee's pattern of just her I'm So Basic sock. And I love the fit of that sock, so I couldn't be more pleased. But I did want to highlight that it is really fun. If you are getting the row 1 or you're considering it, that is a really fun project to do with 1 month. I mean, I have, you know, I do like a size 8, like a size medium sock, but I have more than enough for a pair of socks out of that subscription for 1 month. So that was really fun to kind of look and fade and learn. I used Summer Lee's sort of pattern and recipe for fading, and it worked out. So I would consider doing another fade with maybe another subscription, month subscription of the row 1 minis. So let's move on to next. What am I gonna knit on this trip? That was a tough call. Do I just want a small project for, you know, being on an airplane? I'm hoping to sleep tonight because we leave Minneapolis at 6:50 and 8 hours later we land in Copenhagen and it's 10:05 a.m. So I'm really hoping to sleep. We'll see what happens. I do have some things in my favorite things at the end of this video today that hopefully will help me sleep, but I'll talk about that in a second. So what am I gonna knit? Well, I'm really trying to get some things off the needles for fall. I tend to be one of those people that talk to you about what I'm gonna cast on and then you don't hear about it for like 6 months. I wanna finish it. That's why I don't do fall intentions, fall wish list. I can't do those videos because although I probably will get to all of those things that I'm wishing to knit at some point, I don't finish them within that fall sort of season. So I digress on that. But one thing that I did talk about, I don't even remember when it was. This is episode 30, by the way. I've done 30 episodes. I can't even believe it. I've been doing it for a year in beginning of June, and this is the 30th episode. So again, thanks for watching. But this is Andrea Mowry's Thru lines, and it's an oversized sort of shawly scarf. And I'm gonna bring this with me. It was started to about here, and then I left it, and I have gotten some progress on it in the last week or so. But the thing that made me decide to bring this to Copenhagen is because it's a 16 stitch repeat. You can't necessarily, I can't memorize the 16 stitch or row repeat. I am on the increase. I have 11 more of these like chunks of 16 to do for an increase, and then you do it out of like 25 times, and then you do it another 25 times, but it's the same 16 repeat, obviously, row repeat, but then you're decreasing. So I am using, what am I using? I'm using a discontinued yarn, obviously, because Brooklyn Tweed is no longer with us, but as yarn producers, but I'm using their Peary yarn. And I added a Spin Cycle Salty Dog. So I'm using, I think I'm pretty sure that I showed this before, so sorry about the repeat, but these are the 3 that I'm bringing. It's manageable. I'm gonna have it in this really cute bag. I think I can kind of take it with me anywhere. I'll knit it at the airport maybe a little bit, and also on the flight maybe, but I'm also planning on knitting it on a ferry and all these other kinds of times. So hopefully I will make some progress on that. The other thing that I'm kind of toying with, I know I have to decide pretty quickly, is should I cast on a sweater and see how far I can get. I want to. I'm gonna bring 3 balls of this Rowan Soft Yak DK. Sorry, it's not focusing. I don't know the colorway because it's just a number on here. I'll put it in the show notes. But this Soft Yak DK is can't see it. 70%, 76% cotton, 15% yak, 9% nylon. I have been wanting to make the Sadi Sweater by Ozetta. Put a picture of it here. It's just a really easy throw on sweater that you could use all seasons at least in Minnesota. So I cast on the neckline, and I might do the short rows when I'm just really focused on the airplane. I would love to get to knitting in the round at some point on the trip. We'll see. We'll see. I might be so busy. Also, I'm going on this trip with my friend Lisa, who also, she's a crocheter and a knitter, mostly crocheter. And I don't want to bore her the entire time with just knitting and fiber and whatever. But, you know, on the down times when we're on a ferry or a train, I can get that out. This will probably be for the times that I have to not be very focused. And this, you know, maybe in the evenings, just sitting on a balcony or on a coffee shop. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm not going to promise anything. But those are the 2 projects I'm going to bring. But I also am going to bring my crochet project. The crochet of the Floret sweater. I'm coming along on those little crochet little squares. I've been blocking them. I haven't yet put any together, but I certainly am getting really close. So that is happening. Wow, that's a lot. Okay, so what am I planning on buying in Copenhagen or in Denmark for yarn? Well, I have a pretty hefty stash, as you probably can imagine. And I do want to be reasonable. And I don't have a ton of space in my luggage. I only travel with a carry-on. I am incredibly meticulous about how I pack, what I pack. I'm going to show a little video of everything that I have packed. Here, you'll see it's like 3 to 4 pairs of pants, 3 skirts, 1 sundress, 2 cardigans, undies, 1 pair of pajamas, a couple things to be able to go hiking, and that's it, friends. That's it. So I want to make sure that I don't overbuy, and I go to, for instance, if I go to Rhinebeck or I go to Sacred Sheep or whatever it might be, I always make sure that I have a plan. I have to go in with a plan. I can't go in and say like, oh yeah, for a DK sweater, I need 1,000 yards or however many meters. I can't. I go in with a plan. So my plan is to buy 2 sweater quantities of yarn. We'll see what happens. Now, I also want to get yarn and be reasonable about something I can't get in the United States. I don't know the pronunciation of this yarn. I'll show it to you. It starts with like HJ something. But that's the yarn that I'm going to get for the Dagmar jacket. Okay. And also I have had this on my list forever. Strands of Joy by Anna Johanna. I am knitting that sweater if it kills me. So that's my plan. That is a 3-colored sweater. I love, I love this sweater so much. I'm trying to quickly find it while I'm talking to you, blah, blah, blah. But I really feel like it is something, it'll take me a while for sure, because I'm not fast at color work. It's not where I shine for sure. But I wrote down exactly, it's called Thistle is the name of that sweater by Anna Johanna. And I am going to probably do very similar colors. I love the color. I love the colors of this, and I don't have very much green, but gray, green, and white are the 3 colorways that I will focus on for, and it's fingering weight. So those are the 2 sweaters that I'm looking at getting. I might buy some fabric. I have been going a little bananas, excuse me, with sewing. Right now, I am almost done with the Romy dress. I am almost done with a pair of bob pants, which I think this will be really cute with. And I just finished, it's already packed, so you can't see it, but maybe when I get back, I'll pop a picture up. But it's the Cleo bias skirt, which was a delight to construct. I finally decided that because I am a new sewist, I'm really, really green at sewing. And so my goal is to just start sewing things that fit my body better. I went to see, I talked to Mary and I talked to Evan at Lakes Makery, which is my local fabric shop. If you have never been there and you are from the Twin Cities metro area, you must get your buns in there. And then go to Heather's. My favorite restaurant is right next door after for lunch or dinner or whatever, a snack. And Mary and Evan helped me really look at why I am making things a little bit oversized. So for instance, the lane pant that I talked to you about on the last podcast, I should have gone down a size. So Evan was really helpful in looking at my measurements and helping me really pick a size for some of these upcoming garments. So the Cleo, of course, fits me like a glove because I was gonna sew one size and he was like, no, and it was basically 2 sizes smaller. So that's why I have to be a little bit more cognizant about elastic and waist and anyway, measurements. So that is exciting. Let's move on. I think that's all I have today. Let's move on to favorite things. So some of my favorite things have to do with travel. And one of them has to do with a gift for Mr. WHEREWEKNIT, because while we're gone is my anniversary. So I'm getting something already and sticking it under the bed, and then on the day of our anniversary, I'm going to tell him to look and take this out. But first, let's focus on one of my favorite things to wear on an airplane. I always wear tennis shoes or sneakers because I feel like they're the biggest, like they're the most bulky, and they just don't fit very well in my carry-on. And so I always wear sneakers on the plane. So I have my On Cloud sneakers. They're not one of my favorite things, although I do really love them. But one of the things I like to wear, especially for like because this is an 8-hour flight and basically an overnight, so I want to be comfy, is I am wearing this little set that I bought. Actually, my husband bought it for me as a gift. Mr. Where We Knit is these Viore pants, like little tie pants, and I'll wear a tank, and then this cute little, it's like 3/4 length sleeve hoodie. And it's the reason why I love it is because the fabric of it is so comfortable. It's breathable. It's called Dream Knit, which is a copyright name of their fabric, which is like, it's like butter on your body. So I'm wearing this there on the plane. And then once we get there, I will get a little more non-casual once we check in and kind of get freshened up for the day. So Viore is one of my favorite things, whether it be their workout wear or yoga pants or just these little loungewear little sets. I love them. And so that is one of my favorite things. My other favorite thing is, it's called G-Force. And G-Force is a neck pillow. I don't even know where this came from. We've had it for a while. I love it because it can just sling around like my strap of my carry-on. Also, you have this little blow-up piece so you can make it a little bit more firm. And so my plan is to have this on the plane. And I spray it before we leave. I spray it, which this was a former favorite thing, with this Namaste spray that I got at Wild Rice Retreat in Wisconsin. I don't know if they sell it, but basically it is distilled water with witch hazel, lavender, black spruce, tea tree, orange. So I'll spray that up, smell really good, hopefully make me sleepy. Fingers crossed. And then lastly, again, this has to do with travel. And I cannot survive because my hair is so drab and thin. I can't survive without this Oribe dry texturizing spray. It's hefty. So if you don't like sticky hair, I guess I wouldn't say sticky, but it is a really hefty hold. And they have it in travel size. Nordstrom just had it on sale. It's not cheap, but Nordstrom just had it on sale for a 2-pack and you save like $30 or something. But this is an essential piece that I use when I travel, but also it is what I use to style my hair every day. So my hair is really thin and I lose a ton of hair. And it's not brittle, but it's just really thin and fine. And so this gives me a little oomph in my very thin, fine hair. Okay, lastly, I gotta show you this book that I got from Mr. Where We Knit. I love it because it's a local author. Her name is Mary Jo Hoffman. She's from Shoreview, Minnesota. She and her husband are both artists. And he, I think, is writing a book about France. His name is Steve Hoffman. This was at a local garden shop up the street from my house. Like I could literally walk there. And it is called Still, the Art of Noticing. And it is this beautiful, beautiful curation of her photography. I mean, I literally, every page that I show you is so astonishingly beautiful. I can't, and it's all things in nature. Like all these nature, look at the beauty. Seriously. I learned about it from my friend Suze. Another friend Susie, a knitter friend, the one who did the Moana hat with me. She had 2 of their prints in her living room and went to a book signing and learned all about them. I have yet to learn more about both Mary Jo and Steve Hoffman. I will be reading the beginning of this book. Now, the reason that I bought it for Mr. Where We Knit, he loves a good coffee table book. He loves to just page through. He's not a huge reader. He reads the news, he reads articles online, but he does page through and look at and loves photography. So, perfect gift for him for our anniversary. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for giving me a thumbs up. Thank you for your comments. I am truly grateful. So if you liked this content, please consider giving me a thumbs up on YouTube and subscribing. Whenever I upload content, you will get a little ping in either like your YouTubes or something, but it does make a difference. It does keep me going. And I'm truly grateful for this community. Check out the Floret top. It's not out yet. I bet it will be out maybe within a week. I know that she's finished with her testing. She gifted me this pattern as a preview knit, so I'm also grateful for that, but I would knit it again. Have a wonderful week, and I will be back probably 2 weeks maybe to talk all about my trip to Copenhagen. So grateful for this opportunity. It's going to be amazing. Wow. Cool. See ya.